My fiancée texted, "I'm at my grandma's funeral. Don't call. I need space to grieve." I saw her on a live stream at EDC Orlando with her ex. I replied, "My condolences." Then I sent the live stream link to her parents who were eating lunch with her dead grandma. When she came home to find her bags on the porch and her parents waiting. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I'm Daniel Hawkins, 35, a CPA in Tampa. My job is to find the money, trace the discrepancies, and present the evidence. I don't deal in feelings when the numbers don't add up. I deal in audits. If there's a miscalculation, I find it. I look for the missing decimal point that reveals the embezzlement. My life is organized, logical, and transparent. I've been engaged to Brittany Phillips, 31, for 6 months. Brittany is vibrant. She loves festivals, parties, and experiences. She's a real estate agent who calls herself a people person, which usually means expensive taste and unpredictable income. I tolerated it because she brought color into my gray spreadsheet-filled life. But recently her fun started costing a lot, both financially and emotionally. Last Wednesday, Brittany came home in tears. She collapsed onto our leather sofa, sobbing into her manicured hands. "It's Grandma Ruth," she wailed. "She passed away this morning. It was sudden. Mom is devastated." I was heartbroken for her. I know Grandma Ruth, a tough, no-nonsense woman who makes killer pecan pie and never loses at dominoes. "I'm so sorry, Britt," I said, pulling her close. "I'll come with you. Where's the service?" She sniffled against my shoulder. She was in Jacksonville visiting her sister. We have to drive up there for the service on Saturday. Mom's already there, arranging everything. She doesn't want outsiders around, just immediate family. She's really private about grief. Something felt off. I'm her fiancé. I'm practically family. But I respected her grief boundary. "Okay," I said carefully. "I'll send flowers. Take my card for the hotel and gas. Book whatever you need." She booked a hotel for Thursday night through Sunday. She packed a suitcase that seemed oddly colorful for a funeral, lots of neon and sequins. But who am I to judge mourning attire? She left Thursday morning with tears in her eyes and promises to call when she could. Friday passed quietly. She texted sporadically. "So sad here. Mom hasn't stopped crying. The viewing is tonight. I'm exhausted." I respected her space, focusing on a complex fraud case involving a shell company in the Caymans. Saturday afternoon, I was at my home office reviewing financial statements. I needed a mental break, so I opened Instagram. I follow a popular EDM blog because they sometimes post about industry trends that affect my entertainment industry clients. They were live streaming from Electric Daisy Carnival Orlando, or the 3-day festival, running Friday through Sunday. I watched idly, sipping my coffee, grateful I wasn't in that sweltering heat. The camera panned across the VIP section near the main stage, and there she was, Brittany. She wasn't wearing black. She was wearing a neon green crop top, glitter covering her face, and denim shorts that were definitely not funeral appropriate. And she wasn't crying. She was dancing on someone's shoulders. Not just anyone's shoulders. Zachary Phillips, her ex-boyfriend from college. The DJ she swore she'd blocked 3 years ago because he was toxic. The same Zachary whose contacts she claimed to have deleted after he tried reconnecting last year. I stared at the screen. I felt that cold, familiar sensation I get when I discover a hidden account in a bankruptcy filing, the adrenaline of discovery, the clarity of deception. I didn't get angry, I got tactical. I immediately screenshotted the live stream. Timestamp, 4:15 p.m. EST, Saturday. Then I enhanced the image. She was holding a drink with an EDC wristband clearly visible. She was laughing, grinding to the bass drops. She looked very much alive for someone supposedly at her grandmother's funeral 2 hours north. I pulled up her location settings. She had disabled Find My Friends Friday morning, claiming her battery was dying. But she forgot one critical detail. She used my corporate credit card. She didn't use her own because she wanted the premium benefits my business account provides. Entitlement is a predictable variable in fraud cases. I opened my Chase app and reviewed recent transactions. There it was. Tampa to Jacksonville rental car on Thursday, 127s. But then the real story emerged. Orlando Premium Hotel, Thursday, Sunday, $426 total. EDC Orlando VIP weekend pass, purchased Friday, $650. Most damning. Uber from Orlando Hotel to Festival Grounds. Saturday morning, $35, all charged to my Visa, while her grandmother was supposedly being lowered into the ground. The timeline was crystal clear. She'd driven toward Jacksonville Thursday as claimed, then diverted to Orlando, checked into the premium hotel, bought the festival pass Friday, and spent Saturday dancing with her ex while texting me about funeral arrangements. I picked up my phone and texted her, "How's the service going? Holding up okay?" She replied within minutes, "It's so hard, babe. Just finished the eulogy. Everyone's crying. It was beautiful but exhausting. Going to sleep early tonight. Don't call. I need space to process this loss." Going to sleep early. It was 4:30 p.m. The sun was blazing in the live stream, and bass was thumping through my phone speaker. She was literally dancing while typing about exhaustion from her grandmother's eulogy. I typed back, "My condolences." Then I attached the screenshot of her on Zachary's shoulders. I attached the credit card statement showing the Orlando hotel and festival charges with timestamps. Then I made a phone call that would change everything. "Hi, Daniel," Janet Hawkins answered cheerfully. "How are you this lovely Saturday?" "I'm fine, Janet. Just wanted to check how you're holding up with everything." "Oh, I'm wonderful. Just having a late lunch with Ruth." "Why?" My heart stopped. "With Ruth? Isn't today the funeral?" "Funeral? Whose funeral?" "Grandma Ruth's. Brittany said she passed away Wednesday." The silence that followed could have powered a nuclear reactor. I could hear muffled conversation in the background, then Janet's voice, sharp and dangerous. "Ruth is sitting right here eating a club sandwich. Do you want to say hello?" I put the phone on speaker. "Actually, Janet, I think you should see something." I texted her the live stream link and the screenshot. "Brittany told me Ruth died Wednesday. She used my credit card to go to EDC Orlando with Zachary Phillips." More silence. Then Grandma Ruth's voice, sharp as a tack. "Is that Brittany with that loser Zachary? I thought she was at a work conference in Jacksonville. And why am I dead? I feel perfectly fine." "She's not working, Grandma," I said. "She's supposedly grieving your sudden passing." "I'm going to give her something to grieve about," Ruth snapped. "Janet, get Harold on the phone. We're driving to Tampa." "Actually," I said, "I think you should come here. I'll have her things ready." "Pack everything," Janet commanded, her voice turning to steel. "And Daniel, open a bottle of wine. We're going to need it." Phase 1 of the audit was complete. I didn't sleep that night. I executed the recovery plan with the precision I'd use for a forensic investigation. I packed everything methodically: her clothes, shoes, festival gear, her collection of overpriced crystals, her vision boards about becoming an influencer. I didn't pack them nicely. I used black contractor bags, the kind used for debris removal. I labeled them with a permanent marker: lies, deceit, and audacity. I placed the bags on the front porch like evidence awaiting pickup. I changed the smart lock code on our front door. I removed her garage door access code. I logged her out of all my streaming services: Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max. I canceled her supplementary credit card, which immediately stopped whatever bar tab she was running up at the festival. I sat on the porch with a beer, watching the sunset, and waited for the fallout. Sunday morning arrived with my phone exploding. 47 missed calls from Brittany. The text messages were escalating in desperation. "Daniel, please let me explain. It was a misunderstanding. Zach was just there. We ran into each other. My card got declined. I can't buy water. It's hot. Why is Mom posting pictures of Grandma Ruth alive on Facebook?" She was spiraling. The narrative was collapsing in real time. I could track her panic through the timestamps. I replied once, "Ask Grandma for a ride. Oh, wait, she's busy being alive." The Family War Council arrived Sunday afternoon. Janet's Buick pulled into my driveway, followed by Harold's pickup truck and Grandma Ruth's pristine 2018 Honda Accord. Harold Hawkins, 61, retired police sergeant, stepped out looking like he was about to interrogate a suspect. Janet emerged with her purse clutched like a weapon. And finally, Grandma Ruth, using her decorative cane, wearing her Sunday best, looking very much alive and very pissed off. "Show us everything," Janet demanded. I pulled up the Instagram live stream on my laptop. There was Brittany, timestamp 4:15 p.m. Saturday, grinding on Zachary's shoulders while supposedly delivering a eulogy. I showed them the credit card statements, the Orlando hotel, the festival pass, the timeline that proved she'd been partying while claiming to grieve. "That little liar," Ruth said, adjusting her glasses to get a better look at the screen. "And with Zachary Phillips. That boy's been trouble since high school. His mother's ashamed of him." "What do you want us to do?" Harold asked, his cop instincts kicking in. "Be here when she gets home tomorrow," I said. "I want her to see all of you, especially Ruth. I want her to understand that actions have consequences." "Oh, she'll understand," Ruth said grimly. "I've been too soft on that girl. Time for some old-fashioned accountability." Sunday night passed quietly. I had everything arranged, the bags packed and labeled, the locks changed, the financial accounts secured. The evidence was overwhelming. The family was united. All that remained was the confrontation. Monday morning, she managed to get home, probably borrowing money from Zachary or selling jewelry. She pulled up in a rideshare around 10 a.m., looking rough, glitter still smeared across her cheeks, hair disheveled, sunburned from 2 days at an outdoor festival. She saw the mountain of black contractor bags on the porch first. Her steps slowed. Then she noticed the cars in the driveway, her parents' Buick and Grandma Ruth's Honda. Her face went white. She froze on the sidewalk, carry-on bag in hand, as the pieces clicked together. The front door opened like a courtroom drama. I stepped out first, arms crossed. Behind me walked Janet, looking like a prosecutor. Harold emerged next, his police bearing unmistakable. And finally, the star witness, Grandma Ruth, leaning on her cane, wearing her best church dress, looking very much alive and absolutely furious. "Surprise," I said calmly. "It's a resurrection miracle." Brittany dropped her carry-on bag on the sidewalk. "Daniel, Mom, Grandma." "Don't grandma me," Ruth snapped, stepping forward with surprising vigor for an 82-year-old woman. "I heard I died. I was expecting a better eulogy than grinding on a DJ at a music festival." "It wasn't like that," Brittany wailed, tears streaming down her glitter-stained cheeks. "I just needed a break. The wedding pressure was too much. I needed to decompress." "So you killed your grandmother?" Janet shouted, her voice carrying across the neighborhood. "You lied to your fiancé. You stole his money to party with your ex-boyfriend." "I didn't steal," Brittany protested, trying to push past Harold to reach me. "We're engaged. It's our money." "Not anymore," I said calmly, pulling the printed cancellation confirmations from my pocket. "I canceled the wedding venue this morning. I recovered most deposits by citing fraud as the reason. The florist was very understanding. She actually follows that EDM blog that streamed you, so she saw the evidence herself." "You canceled our wedding?" she shrieked. "You can't do that without asking me." "I did, just like you booked a festival weekend without asking me. It's called autonomy, Brittany. You love autonomy." "But I love you," she sobbed, mascara running in black streaks down her face. Harold stepped between us like a riot shield. "Don't touch him," he said, his voice carrying decades of police authority. "You've done enough damage. Get your bags." "Where am I supposed to go?" "You're coming home with us," Janet declared. "And you're paying Daniel back every single penny. Ruth is charging you rent starting today." "Rent?" Brittany looked at her grandmother with horror. "Rent?" Ruth confirmed, tapping her cane on the concrete. "And you're cleaning my gutters, organizing my garage, and driving me to bingo every Tuesday and Thursday since you have so much energy for festivals. You can handle a ladder and a dauber." "But I'm building my real estate career," Brittany whined. "I can't clean gutters. What will my clients think?" "You're not building anything except character," Ruth said firmly. "And maybe some upper body strength. Harold, load up the truck." The engagement ring was the final detail. Brittany kept her left hand tucked deep in her pocket, hoping I wouldn't notice. But I'm a CPA. I notice everything. "The ring," I said simply. "That's mine," she hissed. "It was a gift." "Actually," I said, channeling every family law attorney I'd worked with during divorce audits, "in Florida, an engagement ring is a conditional gift. The condition is marriage. No marriage, no ring. Since I proposed on a random Tuesday in March, not a holiday or birthday, it's strictly conditional, handed over, or Harold can explain the statute on grand larceny." Harold looked at her seriously. "He's right, Brittany. Don't make me call my former colleagues at Tampa PD." She pulled the ring off her finger with shaking hands, stared at it one last time, then threw it at me. It bounced off my chest and landed in the St. Augustine grass. "I hate you," she screamed. "You're so boring. Zachary knows how to live." "Zachary lives in a studio apartment behind a gas station," I said, picking up the ring and examining it for damage. "I own a house with a 2-car garage. Enjoy the lifestyle downgrade." Harold and Janet loaded her contractor bags into the truck bed, while Mrs. Patterson from next door recorded everything on her tablet. The humiliation was complete and thoroughly documented. After they drove away, I went inside. The house was quiet, organized, peaceful. I sat at my computer and opened Excel, because that's what CPAs do when processing major life events. Wedding costs avoided, $25,000. Divorce costs, $0. Recovery of dignity, priceless. 2 weeks later, Venmo pinged, Wednesday 847s from Janet Hawkins. Note, repayment for hotel, festival tickets, rental car, and emotional damages. Sorry about our daughter. We're working on her. I texted back, "Thanks. How's the rehabilitation going?" Janet replied with a photo. Brittany in oversized work gloves and a floppy hat, balanced precariously on a ladder, cleaning Ruth's gutters, while the old woman stood below, pointing at missed spots with her cane, holding a glass of sweet tea. Caption, Accountability Phase 1, complete. I laughed until I nearly choked on my coffee. 3 months later, I sold the ring and used the money for a weekend in Charleston with my CPA study group buddies, a new mountain bike, and a bottle of excellent bourbon that cost more than Brittany's monthly car payment. I met someone at the gym last week, Melissa, a nurse practitioner who calls her grandmother every Sunday and has never been to a music festival. She asked what I do for work during our coffee date at a quiet bookstore cafe. "I'm a CPA," I said. "I find discrepancies." "Sounds intense? Ever find anything crazy?" "Once found a dead grandmother dancing at EDC Orlando," I replied. She laughed genuinely. "You're funny." I try. As for Brittany, last I heard through Janet's updates, she's still living with Ruth and learning life skills she should have mastered a decade ago. She tried sneaking out 2 weeks ago to meet Zachary at a downtown club. Ruth caught her climbing out the bathroom window and installed child-proof locks the next morning. At 31 years old, she has a curfew enforced by an 82-year-old woman who doesn't mess around. Her real estate career took a hit when word spread through Tampa's tight-knit professional community. Turns out, lying about family deaths doesn't inspire confidence in clients looking for trustworthy agents. Gentlemen, trust but verify. If she says she's grieving, check the live stream. And if someone dies in your relationship, make sure you send condolences to their actual address where they are very much alive and eating lunch. The numbers always tell the truth. People, not so much. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.